kuno apo pano mamuona kere nai anovura meso anovura nzeve anokaya marigi kama kwetu tikomo kwetu tikomo usasaiwe kama kwe anokaya marigi
kamba kwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa pane nyaya pano zvamunoda kunzwa zvinotaurwa pano madiko kumunzwa mugovane.com kamba kwe vanogaya mari vanotaura mari vanosiya mari kamba kwe vanotaura feya kuti pamberi zvichafamba sei vanomuterere zvikubatsirei mukufamba kwenyu zvikubatsirei mirai ndikudze kuti chokwadi pano chizere kamba kwe vanogaya cash vanopa mafacts vanotaura straight vane evidence vane confidence plus intelligence
entertainment current affairs and news kamba kwe totikomo usasarire kamba kwe anokaya mari
Right, 20 February 2022, and today I just want to quickly look at the rally that we've all been expecting. Nelson Chamisa and his new political party, the CCC, Citizens Coalitions for Change, they had their first rally today at the Harare or Zimbabwe grounds, and it ended very, very badly. In fact, it's unfortunate what has happened this evening because some lives could have been lost. It's possible that some people have died because of what happened there at the rally. So what happened is Nelson Chamisa and his party, they bussed the people into the stadium, into Zimbabwe grounds, in trucks, in open trucks. I think most of you saw the trucks that were coming in. And one of those trucks that was going to Dzivarasekwa has now crashed, and it has 11 people are seriously injured, and we don't know the state of some of those people. So it's very sad because I don't know why politicians do this. Why do you take people and bust them to prove that you're popular? We already know that Chamisa has got supporters in the cities. Chamisa has got more than the 5,000 people who were at the stadium. There's no need to bust people into a stadium to prove a point. And right now, as we speak, there's fundraising taking place as people try to assist the people that are injured. It's very, very sad what happened. And I hope that this situation is resolved, because the strategy of filling a stadium is pointless. And this is what Chamisa was trying to do. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The stadium was not full. So I want to show you how the stadium was looking today. So this is the people that were in Chamisa's rally. Approximately, the people who were here are between 5,000 and 7,000. And most of these people are coming from as far as Gweru, Bulawayo. These are not local people. And so the point that Chamisa has got supporters in the cities is not deniable. I have been to Chamisa rallies. I've covered those rallies in Zimbabwe and here in South Africa. People do come, but they come from many, many different places. So that is not the point. If someone is excited by the number of people that attend a Chamisa rally, I don't get it. That's not the point. And that's what I want to look at today. This rally was a great disappointment. Chamisa failed to make use of the opportunity that was presented to him. And I want to focus specifically on the 2023 presidential elections. This rally was not about the by-elections. The rally was about the presidential elections in 2023. Even Chamisa himself said it. This rally is about the 2023 presidential elections. And Chamisa is missing the point on how to create a path to State House. And I'm going to keep coming back to this point. Chamisa is missing the point on how to create a path to State House. He does not understand how he can get to State House. He thinks he can keep doing the same thing that he was doing back in 2018, and then he can win somehow. That is not going to work. And specifically, ZANU-PF did very, very well today. They had a rally in Marondera. They are very organized. President Mnangagwa was not even there, but the rally was well organized. It was well attended. What this means is that ZANU-PF has got grassroots structures. They are not relying on an individual. Whereas Nelson Chamisa is relying, or in fact, CCC as a party is a shell that is relying on an individual. And that individual is Nelson Chamisa. He's failing to create a system. I always say this. Chamisa is failing to create a system, and therefore he will not have a path to State House. He's not going to win in 2023. It's clear to me, clear as day, that Chamisa will not win in 2023 until he makes certain changes. And what I was expecting Chamisa to do, the first thing that I was expecting Chamisa to do was to create an interim structure for his new political party. There is no political party without an interim structure. There's no political party without a president, a vice president, a secretary general, a treasurer general, and so forth. You know all those things that you need in a political party. Chamisa does not have it. And at this particular rally, I was expecting him to create that structure, to announce that structure. And that structure was not announced. It's not available. You can, as a supporter of CCC, you can think that is okay, but it's not. Because every organization needs to form. You need to form an organization. You need to create the values of that organization. You need to create a plan for the future growth of the organization. Because the problem that you have with Nelson Chamisa's party is that it is stagnant. Chamisa's party cannot transcend into different audiences. So the people that have been supporting Chamisa since 2018, they are still the same people. What Chamisa needs to do to win, and I keep talking about the path to State House. The path to State House for Chamisa is to get ZANU-PF supporters to vote for him. And at the moment, there's no reason for a ZANU-PF supporter to vote for Chamisa. Chamisa's party is all about Chamisa. It's all about Nero. The solution is Chamisa. That is what they do when they rally. They sing that Chamisa is the solution, whereas that is not true. The solution in Zimbabwe is everybody. That's why you're saying citizens coalition. You need every citizen to play a part. So you need unity in the country. And the CCC guys are all about polarization. When they have their rally, they're polarizing. They don't even invite anyone from the opposition. So if you look at today's rally, not even Ngarivume was there. There was Tsenengamu there. So it's a one-man band. And I always say this, if Chamisa does not address that, I take you back to the report by Noise. Why Chamisa is going to lose in 2023. Lack of grassroots structures, lack of a broad-based coalition, and inability to galvanize the masses to uprise or to demonstrate on his behalf. So when Chamisa says he can, when the election is stolen, he will demonstrate. That's not possible. No one is going to demonstrate for Chamisa as it stands, because no one understands what he's trying to do. What is the plan? So if I ask you today, when you went to that rally, if you're a CCC member, what is the plan? That is a very difficult question to answer for someone who is in CCC, there is basically no plan. There is a shell of an organization, an individual, and his friends. So if you look at all the guys who were there, Tendai Biti, Kore, Mahere, Chibaya, Wende, those people, they are the old. There is no new in the MDC or in the CCC. It's basically the old MDC alliance under a different name for the purposes of contesting the 26 March by-elections. So it was very disappointing to me, and I expected something dramatic. For example, I want to give you the example of the role of young women in politics in Zimbabwe. Young women have not been voting. They have not been participating. So it's very rare to see a young woman in politics. So what Chamisa should have done, because right now we've got a problem. We've got people like Tendai Biti sitting in the vice presidency, Washman Ngube sitting in the vice presidency, Kore sitting in the vice presidency. Those people are ineffective and they're not attractive to the voters. And I do agree with the Hopo Chingono when he came out this week and says Fadzai Mahere needs to be made a vice president. So originally, we had these old people who came with Strangirai. That structure which came with Strangirai needs to be dismantled. And you need to put in a new structure that will appeal to the young people, the young women. So if you were to put in Fadzai Mahere as a vice president of the new CCC, that's a masterstroke. But is Chamisa brave enough to do it? Is he brave enough to bring in new people like Mahere, to make her the vice president, to get rid of that structure of 3 vice presidents, to remove Wende from that secretary general position, to get rid of people like Koltat, who are serving no purpose except to spend the day on Twitter? You know, you need a new structure. Get rid of people like Washman Ngube, who are not serving any purpose, Tendai Biti, Job Scala. This is the bravery that we need. And this is what this rally was about. It was supposed to make those changes, those brave changes. But those changes were not made. And I know most of you guys who are in CCC, you know about this. Now, let's go to the actual rally itself. This rally, as I said, had about 5,000 to 7,000 people. And I have attended rallies at MDC or before. And these numbers, they are there. You can see them, but they mean nothing. Let me show you something that happened. I hope I've got this right video here. So if you look there, I just showed you people falling from a tree. So there were some injuries. People broke their hands today at the rally. They're hospitalized right now at Parinyato Hospital. And people are scrambling to raise funds. I saw Shepard Yuda right now. He's looking around for money to get these people treated. The CCC does not have a single cent in its bank account. Let that sink. You've got a party here that wants to lead the country in 2023, in a year's time. Chamisa said 472 days. And they don't have a single cent in their bank account to send their supporters to hospital. They don't have a single cent in their bank account to take 11 people that are seriously injured on their way to Zvarasekwa when their truck overturned. They don't have a cent to send these people to hospital. This is a disaster, and this needs to be sorted out. The reason why we have this problem is that the CCC, and coming back from the MDC Alliance, has always operated without governance, without structure, without offices, without proper leadership, without an admin function. So things happen haphazardly, like the way they used to happen in the UZ. So the SRC of the UZ, that is how the CCC is right now. Things happen as they happen. There's no plan. And that is the biggest problem that we have. So let me close this down. I want to shut this down very, very quickly. It's a Sunday, and tomorrow I've got a lot of work to do. So I'm very disappointed by the organization, by the direction that Chamisa took, the failure to provide direction. And Chamisa has got a mountain to climb. He is not going to beat ZANU-PF with this approach. And I speak honestly when I say the numbers that you're seeing on social media, they mean nothing. Tatelicious was dancing this evening. I want to show you something. Tatelicious has got, let's remove those emojis. On my side, I've got emojis there. She had 9,700 views, people watching when she was dancing. Chamisa at the peak of his video, when they tagged everybody, including me, they had 13,200 at the peak. Let's give them 14,000. So a big political party that has got years, 20 years in office, has got 13,000 people. And Tatalisha as well, dancing and saying nothing. She's got 10,000 people watching. This is the nature. Social media, very deceptive. You think you're getting somewhere, but you're actually getting nowhere. What Chamisa needs to do is to do those things that were suggested in these reports that I'm always talking about. When you see a report coming out from international organizations, telling you that you must fix your grassroots structures, you must fix your broad-based coalition, you must fix your connection to a broad alliance or a broad number of Zimbabweans, a broad cross-section of Zimbabwe, then that is what you do. At the moment, Chamisa has remained a narrow leader. He's a narrow leader of the people in the cities. People that think one person can solve the problems in Zimbabwe. Those are the people that follow Chamisa. But that's not a way to win an election. And I always say this, right now in these by-elections that we're going into, ZANU-PF, all they need to do is to get their people out. Like if I was ZANU-PF, I would literally set up a committee in every constituency that is contesting. And I will make sure that every single person wakes up on voting day and goes and votes. You will see what will happen. Chamisa will never win those elections. Where ZANU-PF has been failing, or where they've been losing, is to fail to take their people into the election to go and vote. So a lot of people who support for ZANU-PF have not gone to vote in the towns. They thought it didn't mean anything because anyway, MDC had so many supporters. But this time, follow that strategy. You will see MDC losing in the towns because they are not, in fact, CCC, because they are not a properly constituted political party. They are a person, the one person. That one person thinks they can carry the whole party to victory, and it's not possible. So this whole rally for today, did you even see any candidate being introduced? Did you see candidates standing up there to speak? So it was not about the candidates. It was not about the party, CCC. It was about Chamisa. And Chamisa is making the same mistake that he's been making for so long. And if you look, as I said, the young people are not represented in this party. The people that are here, they've already made it. And look at this stage. Everyone on this stage has got over 20 years in Zimbabwean politics, except for Ricky Fire. Ricky Fire, I don't like his music. In fact, I've never listened to a Ricky Fire song before. So, very sad. And my point there is, there are many musicians who could have really done a good job singing there at that particular rally. But I guess they just don't get the point. You can't compare chill sport at a rally by President Mnangagwa with Ricky Fire. Obviously, that doesn't balance. These guys, they do have the support in the towns, but it's not support that can carry you to victory. There's a lot to be done by Chamisa, and Chamisa needs to change from that Changirai legacy. I saw you called young Changirai onto the stage. The Changirai legacy is not going to sell and make people vote for you. Honestly, do you really think anyone still cares about the legacy of Tsvangirai in Zimbabwe? Just think about it. Do you really think anyone is going to, let's say someone who's not an MDC supporter or CCC supporter, do you think they're going to leave their house and vote for Chamisa because Chamisa was appointed by Tsvangirai? Honestly, someone needs to go into the strategy of these guys and clarify for him what is important. And this business of negative campaigning, where you say the roads are bad, the school system is not working, people spend 4 hours on the waiting for a bus, that's negative campaigning. It won't work. There needs to be a change. There needs to be a plan, and that plan is not there. And this is where Chamisa got it wrong. It was a serious flop, this rally. And coming out from here, where Chamisa is actually going to set up his organization, start working with the grassroots structures, start appointing people, making those difficult appointments, and getting rid of the dead wood, like Tendai Biti, Watchman Ngube, Karenyi Kore, a serious weight on Chamisa's neck. Those people are not taking Chamisa anyway, and they will not attract young voters, because you want to attract young voters. If you want to attract young voters, make Mahere the vice president, make Ostalos the spokesperson, and disassociate yourself with people like negative people like Hopo, and disassociate yourself with people like Scala, people like Wende. That is what is going to take Chamisa to the presidency. And that path, Chamisa for now, is not getting it. He thinks he can continue like before. But I want to wrap it up, and I want to show you another thing. One positive thing I liked about Chamisa's new approach is their slogan. They've removed the slogans of insulting people and people mdenga and people bra. They've removed all that, and I think that is a positive. They're doing well. They just need to do more, because the politics of Zimbabwe is too polarized. People take politics like a war. Just go to my wall now and see how many insults we've received since we started. We posted the notification for this post. Young MDC supporters, they do not understand the beauty of democracy. We live in a democratic country. I can say anything here about Cyril Ramaphosa. I can see anything about anybody. I walk out of my house. No one cares. That's my opinion. The young guys in the MDC, in the CCC, they don't get it. They are fanatical about an individual. They're not fanatical about a process. They're not fanatical about a system. If you know how to create a system, ZANU-PF guys will be your friends, because all of you share the same system. If ZANU-PF does a good thing, you're happy because it's good for everybody. It's good for the whole country. If someone in CCC does something good, but you spend the whole day insulting people who are in the opposition party or in the government, nothing will work. So what you need to do is, first of all, depolarize the environment. And this is what Chamisa needs to be doing. He needs to depolarize the environment. He needs to go into Pollard. He needs to focus more on negotiations and stop undermining the electoral process. Every day you are undermining the electoral process. The next things, people won't go in for it because they think that the elections are rigged. We all know that there's no perfect election. So these are some of the things that Chamisa needs to be dealing with. System issues, process issues, structural issues. Then you can have a proper rally, not this thing of people just dancing around wearing yellow shirts and singing yellow, yellow, yellow. That is empty slogans, and that won't win you an election. Right, guys, I have talked for so long, and I didn't want to talk for this long. But the truth is that we've entered the election season. You remember what happened in Zambia. Zambia election campaign started about a year before the actual elections. That's when things started to happen. In Zimbabwe, we have a situation where the opposition is still forming. And as it is forming, we're going to see what is going to happen, especially on the coalition front. Chamisa has totally failed there. And Chamisa is finding it difficult to work with other people because there is no leader who wants to go and sit in a meeting where someone is going to say, Chamisa is the solution. Chamisa is the solution. Imagine you are a leader of an opposition party and you've been called to a meeting. And now you have to sing praises. How sad was looking at Senengam? It was so sad to watch Senengam praising Chamisa instead of talking about policies, instead of talking about his own plan. So if you go to the CCC rally, you're going to be forced to sing praises. But that politics doesn't work. And this is where the flop comes in. The whole thing just doesn't make sense anymore. It's just a bunch of people jumping around. But I think Makandiwa can have a bigger church service than this. You've seen it. Yesterday, Ambassador Angel was in Malawi. We should have had a bigger rally, bigger people, now group of people than this. The crowds don't matter. What matters is these important things of establishing a proper organization. And then making sure that the environment is ready for success. Chamisa needs to make sure that by the time he gets in, if he gets in 2030, the environment is such that you can actually succeed. Currently, at the moment, because of polarization, it's not possible to succeed in Zimbabwe as a politician. You're going to always have problems, no matter who gets in, because the problems are structural. The problems are based on the issue of sanctions. Chamisa did admit that the land reform program was a good thing. Today, you can go and watch the video. He said he appreciates the land reform program. Go further. Let's remove the sanctions. Let's talk about dialogue. You see, those are the kind of things that make the CCC a new party and not an old party. Because the very same things that were happening in the MDC alliance, they can't continue in the CCC. Then there's no point. And ZANU-PF will never allow you to even sit on the table with them if you don't show some change. So that was it. The Yellow Sunday launch rally, by-election campaign launch by Nelson Chamisa. And I hope that the guys in CCC, they appreciate what we're trying to do here. I'm not going to be like Hopo, who's going to tell you that you're doing well, ZANU-PF is your problem. ZANU-PF is not Chamisa's problem. It's like you're playing soccer. Your opponent is going to try to score past your goalkeeper. Don't expect them to stand around and allow you to go in nicely. And this business of complaining every day, the CCC should just stop it and focus on creating a strong organization, creating proper structures, creating love among Zimbabweans. So people must feel love when they see the yellow shirt. They must feel a warmth to say these guys are part of us. At the moment, the CCC, it's all about their little group. If you see Joanna Mamombe, if you see the people around there, if you see Wende, if you see Chamisa, if you see BT, if you see Kore, those are the people. They're a small circle which you cannot penetrate. And that thing needs to end. That was the problem with this flag. I always say this. This flag had a similar problem. Lack of a clear strategy and inability to allow more people. So it becomes a thing of more people. This thing is a thing of a few people. And, well, I guess that is why many people who understand politics will tell you that these guys won't win in 2023. And that is why their rally was a big flop. And so said about the guys who are right now very sick in hospital after that accident. And as I said, 11 people in a truck who were being bussed in a truck. So most of these people here were bussed in from as far as Gweru. But the people the 11 people who are injured are from Zivaraseko. And then the guy who broke his hand in the tree fall, I think he's also from locally around Harare. Very sad to see this kind of things happening for politics. But that was it for today. And we'll be back tomorrow. I hope that I'll be able to get my guests tomorrow. But if I don't get my guest, we'll find something else to talk about. Then the elections themselves, the by-elections, I would love to be there when the actual announcement takes place. Because I think And these by-elections, they're going to be very, very interesting. And ZANU-PF guys, I think they've got a big chance here. If ZANU-PF wins a lot of wards and councils and constituencies here, they are setting a foundation for a big, strong run in the elections in 2023. So I think the ZANU-PF, they will do a lot here. They will work very, very hard. And Chamisa's people, they have to stop the games. The games that they have been playing right now. This thing of jumping up and down is not helping Chamisa at all. They will be walloped by ZANU-PF if they do not start seriously setting up the organization. We need to see a change in their approach, and not the complaining business, not the business of thinking that they will get someone from outside to support them and beat ZANU-PF. And they need a strong team at the top. And I think Chamisa is capable of making those right appointments, but it won't come without a cost. So we are yet to see a lot of fighting in the CCC when you move those guys who are in their comfort zones, because he has to move those guys from their comfort zones and appoint new people, fresh blood that will make a change in the CCC. All right, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
Uyo uko kuno abo pano